Welcome to the Everyday is Saturday podcast, the #1 motivation show on the planet.
No more Mondays for you. It's time to make every day Saturday. Boom!
This is the podcast where we help you to accept who you are, not where you are.
On the roller coaster of life, you know we only sit in the front seat, champion. So make sure you are fastened and tight. Let's go!
Tired of feeling run down all the time during the week? We can help you make every day feel like it's a Saturday.
Let's go. Pack your bags. It's time to leave Averageville.
Introducing the man who thinks abnormal stands for above normal.
When you're on fire, people will travel from miles around to watch you burn, baby. We are fired up.
The host of the Everyday is Saturday show, Sam Crowley.
Hey, welcome back to the podcast. Let's dive right in. It's a double feature on today's Everyday Saturday podcast, meaning I just recorded one, but I had something I wanted to share that I think will inspire you, so we're just going to record another one today. Hey, I want to, isn't it funny? I was going to say something. I want to share with you how we view ourselves versus how other people view us. And I mean this in the utmost positive way, like a very positive message. So I want to share a story with you. And this just popped into my head. I said, this would make great podcast content. Somebody at the gym walking their dog. Maybe you're at work in the cubicle cemetery. You got the AirPods in, whatever. I think this will definitely inspire you. So I'll take you back to 2007. And there was a guy that was running an online contest. And this was back. Remember that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It was the rage on TV. Regis Philbin hosted it. And this guy was doing a knockoff. Who wants to be an internet millionaire? And I was like, oh my gosh. I had literally I think it was around May of 2007. So I just burnt the corporate bridge, just quit my job for the second time. And so there was no going back. Okay. So I was just, podcasting, what I was doing, man. I was all over the place, but I always made sure I recorded my podcast. And what's funny, I didn't do one every day at that time, and I don't know why, because all I had was time. I might have done one 3-4 times a week. But anyway, this guy's running this online platform. And when I say this guy, I mean, he's now a friend of mine, Joel Comm, super successful online marketer, he was the internet man back in the 90s. I mean, this guy was doing Google AdSense and showing people how to monetize themselves online. Great friend of mine, Joel. And so anyway, I didn't know Joel at the time. I had no idea who this guy was. Didn't meet him until probably 2014 when I was speaking at a live event out in LA, and he was speaking as well. Made friends in the green room, chatted it up, exchanged cell phone numbers. He was always plugged in, asking how my daughter Susan was doing at the time when she was in Children's Hospital. Then we just kept, chatting and became great friends. But anyway, I didn't know Joel. Back in 2007, he was he was kind of like the gold standard for online marketers. So he was going to do this online contest, and he did. He launched it, and the goal was to make it to Colorado, where they would actually do a live taping of the show. I was like, oh, this is going to be my big break. I mean, I'm just a nobody here in Cincinnati, Ohio, trying to crack into this internet marketing game. So you had to submit a demo tape and then like a video. And this is so funny because nobody knew how to upload video to the internet at the time, but somehow we all figured it out because we were internet marketers. Or at least we had the fake that we were. And if you made it to the first round and you got into the second round, and then I think the next round you got a chance to fly to Colorado to be on the actual show where there was going to be judges. All these top internet marketers were going to judge your idea, your attitude, all these great things. And then whoever won the contest, you were going to launch a product. They would help you actually get your product launched, and kind of like a little bit of Shark Tank in there as well. They're going to invest in you. So the first round came, and I submitted whatever it was at the time, some demo reel, demo tape. You had to upload it to YouTube and which was genius at the time. I wanted the next top internet millionaire or something like that, which only drove more traffic to Joel and his site, which I thought was genius marketing. You had everybody uploading a video with that title. And so I was in one of these forums, and I made it through. Let me back up. So I made it through the first round. So I made it from the big cattle call to the top 100 or something like that. I was like, oh my gosh, I make it through the next round. I get to go to Colorado. I'm going to get a product launch, and boom, my big break, because I have about $0 in my bank account. And this is my big break. So I made it past the first round of the judges, and then we had to submit another video. And before that next round, I was in a forum, and this was a large internet marketing forum, and you had really a who's who of online marketers in there that would post on occasion, and then everybody like me that was just in there trying to just learn internet marketing, you know? And so I saw the title of the post was Joel Comm's Who Wants to Be an Internet Millionaire TV show. And I was like, oh, well, what's going on? And so there was a thread, hey, and there was a lot of buzz about it. And people were like, hey, anybody competing in the show? And what's going on? This sounds so cool and things like that. And then I started reading down the comments, and I got to one individual who said, hey, I saw the people that made it into the top 100, and, it's cool. I'm happy and everything, but I thought this was just for amateurs. I mean, I didn't think they were allowing professionals in there. And then somebody replied back, well, who are you talking about? And he said, well, I saw Sam Crowley's name there. I mean, I'm like, I had to go back and read it. I'm like, am I in the right? Did I just see my name attributed to professional? It's like 10 cents in my bank account. And so I reread it again, and it's exactly what they're saying. Hey, I thought this was just for amateurs. I didn't know they're having pros like Sam Crowley in there. And it's like, oh my gosh, you have no idea. I've got no money, no online presence. I had a website and I had a podcast, but I was putting out a lot of podcast content. But the iPhone hadn't even been invented yet, so I don't know how these people were finding me. And they were, though, because I could see my download stats were growing and growing and growing. So here's the point of the podcast, okay? My perception of myself was broke podcaster just yelling into a microphone every day with no audience. This person's perception was he should not be allowed in the contest because he's already a pro. What does he need a product launch for? Why does he need anybody's help? And I was amazed. I mean, this was so long ago, and I still remember it. The perception we have of ourselves is usually lower than the perception that other people have of us, especially when we're in the process, like when we're building, and you're building an audience, and you're building this movement, and you rarely even come up for air, and you're just operating in this silo type of environment. Yet somebody from the outside views you making this massive progress, because remember, most people won't even get started. So you're viewed as someone who not only got started, you have a presence out there, you're committed to it, and you've kind of distanced yourself now from the also-rans. Like we talk about all the time, if you record episode number 10 of a podcast, you're in the elite group of podcasters out there. And so just by recording 20 episodes, 30, 50, 100, you're already perceived as somebody who already has your own virtual stage out there. And they're probably, these people on the outside probably think you're making millions of dollars and you got this huge following, but yet your perception is, man, I'm grinding every day. Oh boy, am I ever going to find success with it? So you have to then, once you've taken that step and you got yourself out of the starting blocks, you got to go monetize that. You got to take advantage of that credibility. And the credibility is nothing more than you are committed. You're committed to this movement that you've launched, yet you think you still need more validation than what you currently have, which is nonsense. You don't need any more validation. There's people out there already have validated you in their mind. They've seen your content. They've heard your podcast. Maybe they've watched a reel or something on YouTube. They've met you. You have confidence. Like you are that thought leader in that space, yet you don't perceive yourself that way. And when I saw that post, the light bulb went off. I'm like, yeah, they're right. Even though I didn't believe it. Like, they are right. Like, no, they're not. It's like that old Animal House where you got the devil on one shoulder, you got the angel on the other. They're right, Sam. You are a pro. No, you're not, Sam. You're a loser. You just quit your job. You're paying $1,500 a month for Cobra. You don't even have health insurance for your kids. You're a poser. You're a liar. All of that negative stuff in your head. You're never going to make it. You don't have an audience. But when I saw that comment, I was like, yeah, that's their perception of where I am. And I haven't given myself enough credit. I used to just beat myself up every day. Why haven't I had success yet? What's going on? I need new clients and all these things. It changed. It didn't change overnight, but it planted a seed in my mind that don't denigrate, don't downgrade all of the work you've done and all of the progress you've made because you got to take a step out. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You got to step out. Other people have already validated you, you know? And that was a big, big moment. Didn't amount to anything right away, you know? And oh, by the way, I never made it to Colorado. So I got nixed in the next round. I guess whatever content I submitted wasn't good enough, but I didn't make it to the final taping of the TV show and didn't get picked to be, you know, the guy that gets the product launch or anything like that. But I would have loved it. I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't disappointed I didn't get a chance to go. But it all worked out in the end, and it got me going right back to the grindstone, keeping creating content. Never lost sight. I think I screenshotted. I probably even printed it out, that post, and just looked at it when I needed to validate that being in the process meant a lot. It meant a lot that I was committed to it, that I wasn't giving up. No matter what and any negative feedback I got, I was still going. And you know what I never lost? I never lost that passion till today, as I mentioned on the previous episode. Still got it. Never going to lose it. Going to stay in the game for the rest of my life. So I just wanted to encourage you that, you know, how you view yourself sometimes when you're in the process, you might be beating yourself up pretty good. Like, why haven't I made the progress? Why haven't I made the money other people have made? Your time is going to come. And if you are courageous enough to put a bold offer out there, now you've got the validation, you've got the offer, you've got the sales plan in place to monetize whatever it is that you're selling. And I'm telling you, man, it's game on. It's game on. So I hope this podcast did sow a seed of inspiration inside of you. Share it with somebody who needs to hear it as well. Would help a lot also if you smash that 5-star rating on iTunes. It helps amazing people like you find the show. All right, let's get after it, gang. Let's go have the best day ever.
And that's a wrap. Another Everyday Saturday podcast in the books. Thanks so much for listening. Would you do your boy a favor? Would you get on iTunes or wherever you listen to the Everyday Saturday podcast and leave a rating for the show? It helps amazing people like you find the show faster. And that's what I'm looking for, amazing people like you. Hey, I'm always hanging out on the interwebs. You can check me out on Instagram at EverydayIsSaturday. Let me know you're listening to the show. Love hearing from fans of the Everyday Saturday podcast. And one last thing, when you're ready to launch, get on my calendar, go to launchwithsam.com. You and I are going to work together to set rocket fuel to your dream. Are you ready? Let's do it. I'll see you on the next Everyday is Saturday podcast.